to sit back and check out the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Yeah, what is going on, my pretty babies? Happy TGIF. Happy Friday. Fantastic Friday to you guys. Lee Sanders with you all for this beautiful Friday, June 20th, 2025. Man, I tell you what, this heat, depending on where you are, especially if you're over here on the East Coast, ooh-wee, this heat is no joke, man. I hope your week's been going very, very well. And depending on where you are, yo, you dealing with some serious heat. You dealing with some serious rain. It's almost becoming one of them. What's that John Taylor song? I seen fire and I seen rain. I mean, we got a little bit of everything that's just going on here. But don't worry. We definitely are bringing it here on the show this week as far as the calm before the storm and any more heat that's going to be coming. Y'all picked a really good day of the week to tune in and everything. Told you guys we were going to be doing another show. I thought we were going to have this be available to you all more closer to Wednesday or Thursday, but I did not even consider the fact that I had an exam that was coming up for this week. So it was, my exam was actually today. It originally was supposed to be on Thursday. And so I was preparing all for that. And then myself, everybody in our class, my professor, we all basically found out almost at the same time that our campus was going to be closed for Thursday in recognition of Juneteenth. And at that point, my professor pulled an audible and was like, well, makes no sense to give everybody the exam Thursday. It's Juneteenth. So our exam got pushed back to Friday. So that worked out pretty good for me. I did pretty good. For those of you that's a little bit curious, and it's been on a health nutrition class. That's been it. It's the last science requirement I need. And then once I get that, like, I get to graduate. So I got 2 weeks to go for this class. And then that degree is mine. I did pretty good on this exam. I got a 82 out of 110. I was trying to go for 90. And I tell you, she crammed like 58, almost 60 questions into this bad boy and only gave you 1 hour, 10 minutes. So that's 70 minutes. And it wasn't a case. See, it'd be one thing. I know some of you guys are hearing that and you're like, that should have been easy to, not when it's not a situation where you would think, but when you have a situation where they're giving it to you in, okay, you really got to think about this. You really got to think about that. And you really got to think about this. And you really got to think about that. It wasn't a true or false type of setup. That would be an easy test, wouldn't it? True or false, right? Or, hey, we're going to give you this question, and then you select out of these three options, which one, like, that would be so easy, but she gave us so much to think about, and I ended up missing 4 questions. When I say I missed 4 questions, it's not that I got 4, like, there was 4 questions I got wrong. No. Because of how many questions she put in there, when it was all said and done, there were 4 questions I was not able to answer. It was like, I wish I had more time. So I was telling the wifey about it, and she goes, you should probably let the professor know about your experience and maybe get her to ask other students if they kind of had the same problem, because if there's a good amount of you all that weren't able to go through all 58 questions, then that's a big deal, especially when it comes to the final exam. There's going to be a final exam that's going to drop in 2 weeks. That final exam, from what I understand, has about 75 questions. So you guys do the math. If she's giving us an hour and 10 for like a 60 question joint, just how much time is she going to give us for a 75 question joint? Your guess is as good as mine if she goes, oh, an hour and 20 minutes. That should do the trick. I don't know. But I did pretty good. I mean, it's a C, but my overall grade, including all the extra credit work that I've been doing for this course, I'm still in the A plus range. So, hey, I'll take it. I got 2 weeks to go. I'll take it. I am loaded up for a fantastic weekend. Can't nothing get me down. I'm going to be participating as a member of the press media, but I'm mainly going to be on the side of posting things throughout social media. We got a Capital Emmys night that's going to be happening right here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's going to be going down this Saturday. And I'm going to be posting a lot of content online. I'm looking forward to it. It's from what I understand, and just to kind of give you guys a pretty little ribbon on it in a nutshell without being long-winded, basically all the local news media stations, this is where they all come together, and we basically celebrate the producers, writers, technical directors. I believe even some reporters' work as well is potentially going to get recognized as well. But it's basically like a who's who. So you're able to rub elbows with a lot of different people and everything. So it's really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be there all day. All day. I'm going to be taking my computers and everything. Look, I got to show you guys this because you probably see it behind me here. So this is my rig setup that I'm going to be using for the show. I'll try to get this in here as close as possible. And sorry for, oh, didn't mean to drop that, but luckily it's not breakable. So I apologize to my audio listeners, but I'll do my best to describe everything that is happening in this rig. So first off, as you guys can see, we've got the tripod mount. This goes to about 62 inches. This isn't even at its highest peak. All right. So we got that. And then we've got this cell phone cage rig that we got set up here where we can easily slide in. As a matter of fact, bear with me a second here because I really want to be able to show you guys this. And I just realized I can just get this down even smaller so I can show it to you guys. Hang on here. And then okay, there we go. It gets even smaller than that. I think we can even do better than that. Can we close this now? This thing has been erected for so long that I'm having a hard time trying to. Hang on here. There we go. Yeah, we got it. We got it. See? Just give your man a few seconds. He's able to figure out. There you go. Now you guys can really, really see this. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got the tripod, and like I love how small this tripod is because this bad boy can fit easily into your book bag. You can even put it in your pocket, even if you want to. And then we've got the cage rig right here. Put your phone in there. In my case, I got an iPhone 15 Max Pro. Put that bad boy in there. I got some handles if I want them. So just imagine if I didn't have the tripod here and I was to just operate with the handles. So I could definitely do that. And then we've got I believe this is called Avazi. I think that's how you pronounce it. This light source that's up here. This light is extremely, extremely, dude. It gets the job done. Okay. And then over here we've got the Rode Video Mic Go 2. I love my Rode products, man. I love them tremendously. So we got this mic right here. And this is what I love best about this mic is if it's universal. So as far as connecting it to a camera, yeah, you could do that. But if you want to connect it to a cell phone, as that's what Rode had in mind when they were building this mic, you can do that as well. So basically you use a USB type C, which you can connect to one end, and then you take the other end and you connect it into your phone, and then boom, that's it. You're good to go. You don't need to worry about anything else, you're good to go. But this is my rig set up in a nutshell. Isn't this cool? So I'm very excited to be doing this because I'm going to be walking around Capital Emmys night tomorrow, and I'm going to be shooting stuff, and then I'm going to be erecting the tripod and setting it up and all that other good stuff. So. Yeah, I have been playing around with this off and on this week, and it's been very, very good. So for you techies out there and you're interested, I highly, highly recommend that to you guys. So some good stuff, man. Some damn good stuff. All right, so let's get into the thick of things, man. Let's it's just a regular show. We're a little bit loose. We don't need to just oh man, let's just talk about Raw. Like we can go a little bit all over the place on this episode, okay? So, we were last here on Monday and we were talking about the unfortunate injury that went down there with Liv Morgan. I mean, it was a most unfortunate injury, just a freakish injury. And what was really, really just about it was the fact that so many people immediately, I don't know if it was a reactionary thing, maybe it was, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to try to figure out where these people were coming from, but we talked about live in real time on the Monday show how there were a decent amount of people that immediately took to social media and was wishing death and all kinds of ill will towards Kari Sane. Just disgusting. Like, it's bad when some of the talent on the WWE roster, such as Rhea Ripley, actually jumps out there and says, yo, don't be wishing death threats on people. Like, come on, y'all supposed to be better than this. And I'm sure it really, really disgusted her to see that type of stuff that was put out there. I know Kari Sane had put out a post on social media wishing Liv Morgan a speedy recovery and everything. I don't appreciate the fact that it came a couple of days later. That just looks really, really. And look, to defend Kari Sane a little bit, I would not be surprised if maybe she has poked her head on social media from time to time. I wouldn't be surprised if she maybe became aware or saw with her own two eyes some of the backlash that she particularly received for how she was acting during that segment and everything. Now, I ask you all, what exactly was she supposed to do? Because here she is. She is essentially the baby face, if you will. Liv Morgan is the bad guy. So when Liv went down with her injury, what exactly was Kari supposed to do? Was Kari supposed to just stop what she was doing, drop to her knees, and go check on Liv Morgan, ask her if she's okay and if there's anything that she can do? No, no, like that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. Uh, I think no matter how you would have looked at that situation, Kari Sane would have been ridiculed. She'd have been lit up regardless. Cause I was thinking a lot about that since the Monday show, and it was, well, what could she have done that would have made fans go like not pay attention to her? Could she have maybe gone over to the crowd and maybe talk with them a little bit, maybe give an autograph here and there, or maybe look for a little kid, give them a high five or whatever? Because she maybe had done some stuff like that. It's possible she could have done that. I think no matter how you would have cut it, though, I think she would have been ridiculed. This is a case right here because I definitely was thinking about this a lot more from a technical aspect, especially now that I have television production knowledge and experience in my repertoire from what I've been doing at college the past couple of semesters. So like, we've actually filmed our own little production. We've utilized the studio that's on campus and all that. Just thinking about it more from a technical aspect, this is a case where the director or the technical director should have said to their camera crew, look, we need you guys to immediately cut over to Corey Graves and Michael Cole. Let's just have them go through what has happened thus far on Monday Night Raw. go over the results, tell the audience what is to come, and maybe we can show a highlight package of what happened in the opening monologue for tonight's show. What was the opening segment for tonight's show? That way we can buy ourselves the necessary time that we need. And then if we need to, if it hasn't been resolved by then, if we need to, we can just go immediately to a commercial break and then we can come on back and we'll have it all. I think that's what honestly should have happened. This is one of those teachable moments where, say what you will about Vince McMahon, but when you think about how he operated from a technical standpoint, that's all we're talking about here, just as from a technical standpoint, as a technical director, as a director for Vince McMahon, that wouldn't have played out for as long as it would have played out. Vince McMahon would have immediately been like, go to commercial. Just go to commercial. I don't know what's going on. I don't care. We need to figure this out. We need the time that we need so we can figure this out quickly. We got like 3 minutes to figure this out. Take a commercial break right now. Go, 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 go. So I definitely feel that, look, this is, say what you will, Triple H. Yeah, he's been at it a couple of years now, but it's still a learning experience for this guy, and I would think that with a moment like what happened Monday, it'll definitely be a teachable moment for him as far as, okay, now I know what to do if this situation happens again. Now I know how to handle it accordingly. And this way, not only do I protect myself and the talents that's in the ring, but we don't create any type of a weird situation for the talent that's not injured where they potentially get the kind of backlash that Kari Sane ended up getting. If you really stop and think about it, it makes a lot of sense what I'm putting out there. So, but Liv Morgan, now we've got PW Insider and a few other reputable outlets. They're saying that Liv Morgan, she's going to need surgery. And as a result of that surgery, she is going to be out for the next several months. As far as, remember, when we were here last on Monday, I said to you guys, it is up in the air as far as whether or not she's going to be able to rehab that injury. Like, it really depends on the extent of the injury. But I told you guys, I said it can either go in a rehabbing situation or best case scenario. I told you guys, best case scenario, rehab situation, or worst case scenario, she's going to be out for several months. Now, for those of you, and I really feel for those of you that were looking forward to seeing her, but apparently at the Javits Center out there in New York, apparently Liv Morgan was supposed to participate in that event coming up, but because of the injury, she backed out. Now, shout out to the good people there behind the center because they pretty much said, hey, look, anybody that is interested in a refund, we will definitely honor it. We will hook you up. Just message us as soon as possible so we can get the ball rolling. So I think that's really cool that they did that. It's definitely the right thing to do, especially when a situation has occurred where it's definitely out of not just their hands, but it's out of the stars' hands that's supposed to be appearing at the event and everything. So if you know somebody that's supposed to be eventually showing up for that signing and everything, and they are on the clock to see Liv Morgan, docket, whatever the hell you want to call it, let them know about that as soon as possible so they can get their money back and everything. Now, we got all that's going on. Does Liv Morgan need to remain off television while this injury is going about? That's been an interesting little topic that's kind of been picking up a little bit of steam online, believe it or not. Uh it really kind of comes off and that's the Fanatics Fest that I'm talking about. By the way, Fanatics Fest. Any fans who ordered photo ops, autographs, they're gonna be refunded. Um, you could pull basically a Randy Orton. Like first thing I thought about because he was like one of the first people that was running around. He was injured for a bit, and he was doing all those little weekly videos and all that. You could go in that direction, but it really feels like WWE is trying hard to eventually embrace and condition fans for when Liv Morgan goes the babyface route. I mean, she's just screaming babyface. So, but she does the heel work so damn well. Does she not? I mean, she does it so damn well. Took her some years to finally find her pacing, her footing, and all that, which we've highlighted before in recent weeks. But everything's now clicking on all cylinders. You could go in that direction. I mean, just because her arm is messed up, it doesn't mean that, oh, well, her mouth isn't. Nothing's happened to her voice. She still has her voice. So she can easily still run around, call audibles, and all that good stuff. She can definitely do that. The question is, does she want to do that, or does she want to focus more on just rehabbing and not think about her character, the storylines? Does she want to just, it's a very interesting situation. I'm almost kind of reminded of how CM Punk handled his little shoulder injury that happened a couple of years back, and how he would still pop up and do all different types of things. Everybody is built different. I mean, we could sit here all day and we could come up with some really fun stuff that Liv Morgan could do, backstage character, going down the ring side. We could come up with all kinds of stuff. But if her head is not mentally in that realm, and it's just a case of, nah, I would rather go get my rehab on, my surgery. I just want to focus on that. Like, I'm good. Like I said, everybody's not built different. So, but I tell you what, the timing of this injury, you can either look at it as a blessing in disguise, especially if you're one that maybe don't like the Bella twins. The fact that Nikki Bella is back and looked as though maybe Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella was going to be one of the main event matches for the Evolution Premium Live event. You're now kind of going and dodge that one, right? It's almost a blessing in disguise, but also at the same time, it's a detriment because now that you got Liv Morgan out of the equation, that definitely was going to be one of your main centerpieces for Evolution. Now you've got to go in a totally different direction. I can't wait to see how that Evolution event is now going to be shaping up here. Do they maybe, okay, we don't have Liv Morgan anymore. What do we do here? Do they maybe see what Trish Stratus, if they haven't already tapped into Trish Stratus, if they haven't already communicated with her, do they maybe try to see what's going on with her? Do they maybe try to see what's up with Lita? Is this a case where maybe, I know the stuff with Gail Kim and her involvement, the rumors going around there with WWE. Do you maybe, because she still is a free agent, like that's definitely a fact. So do you maybe try to see if Gail Kim might be up for doing a little something? Mickey James, I know Mickey James got screwed out of her little coaching joint for LFG, but you still got that olive branch through Nick Aldis and everything. Do you maybe see what's up with Mickey James? Like, I'm really, really concerned. I'm gonna admit to you guys, I'm really, really concerned about that Evolution event because right now, like before you know it, boom, those events are going to hit. Because remember, they're back to back to back over consecutive days. And it just really feels as though if you're a WWE fan right now, you're going, man, creatively, the writing and the booking, it's subpar. It's subpar on so many levels. And it just feels like, this current group, like, they don't really know what they're doing. This current creative team, it seems like they don't really quite know what they're doing. They don't quite have the roadmap truly defined, really laid out. It really feels like they're doing this on a week to week basis, almost. A lot of times it feels pretty hollow, and there's not enough substance to it and everything. So if that's how you've been feeling as you've been looking at some of the stuff that you've been looking at, you're definitely you're in the right mindset. There's nothing wrong with how you're thinking, how you're looking at it and everything. NXT, Some interesting developments going on there with NXT. I like so far how we have been presented is it Blake Monroe? The Blake Monroe character, formerly known as, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on her name? The Glamour. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on her. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing. And she's one of my favorites. And I'm not even thinking Harley Cameron, but that's another one that I'm thinking about as well. And I'm going, you know what? If she eventually comes on over to the WWE, ooh man, that would be some. I can't get her. Why am I like? I can't think of her name. This is crazy. I can't think of her name. What was her AEW? That Mariah May. How could I blank out on that? Old man's age. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, formerly known as Mariah May, Blake Monroe. A couple of weeks are settling in now. I kind of like how we have this presentation going on of the Monroe character. I like the incorporation of the little animated cartoons that they're doing. I don't see enough people talking about the presentation of her so far as they're setting her up. It almost reminds me of that really cool animated movie from back in the day when they showed her little animated vignettes and all that. Cool World. Y'all remember that? Yeah, if you remember that, like it's got that kind of vibe to it, but it also kind of has just a little touch of the late Anna Nicole. Remember how her house show used to come on? And she had like a little animated thing going on as well. So you got some really interesting elements that you got going on there. So they're trying to do their best to tweak this and really make it feel original. I even like the touch of having a narrator go over certain aspects that Blake Monroe is doing, whether she's trying to figure out what shoes she should wear, and she's going through a wardrobe of shoes, and maybe she's going through a wardrobe of outfits, and you got the little narrator. I kind of like all of that you got going on. It feels unique in its own way. I will give it that. Now, I do got to push back a little bit though. Does it still kind of fit into the realm of the I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world made of plastic? It's fantastic. Yeah, it still fits that kind of, because we've seen this done and beaten to death so many times, right? But if they keep tweaking it the way that they're tweaking it, and most importantly, rely more on Blake to give her creative input, okay? Because obviously there's a lot that she can bring to the table. So if you let her really be able to give that creative input, it can go like we've seen what she's capable of in AEW as a character. We know what she's capable of. So if you give her those same freedoms, that same luxury, it has the potential of really being something cool and special. I personally feel having JC Jane and the rest of the girls lay her out through the table and all that this week, nice little touch that we did there. So I guess it's safe to say that in this particular case, Blake Monroe is the good guy. I guess she's the good guy here. You know, we're supposed to be cheering her on and everything. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing their eventual matchup when they collide and everything. That should be pretty good. I saw the latest development that was going on there, by the way, with Tony D'Angelo, Stacks, and all that. Look, oh God, excuse me. That's how I feel about that. I've already said my piece in that. Look, I grew up watching Full Blooded Italians and all it like. This is just so watered down, so weak. It's just I can't wait to hit the fast forward button when that comes on. I'm telling you. By the way, quick sidebar. Wrestling related, NXT related. I cannot stress this enough. Don't put yourself in a position where you decide, "Oh, I missed NXT on the CW. I'll just download or check out the CW app and I'll watch it that way." Oh my God, man. The same damn tired commercials run every single. It's ridiculous. I kept getting, I don't know, maybe it's different in certain markets, but I kept getting Walter Goggins in the Walmart commercials. What else did I keep getting? I kept getting a Prime Video ad spot. Trying to think what was there was a third one that I just like, god damn, like, can we put some more variety in these commercials? Sheesh. It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. Another thing ridiculous, Jordan Grace. Love Jordan Grace. I know there was a time where Jordan Grace and social media, there was actually one point a couple of years ago, right here on this show, when it came to the Lee Sanders Wrestling Awards. She actually had won a category one year for, what was that category? I think it was worst social media influencer or worst social media personality, because of all like some of the messed up things that she would say on social media. Then at times she would get herself in trouble on social media. I gotta give her a lot of credit though, man. I gotta give her credit where credit is due. She's been doing a phenomenal job keeping her nose clean, trying to stay out of trouble on social media and everything. She's doing great. This new theme music, I did hear it because I watched NXT. I wasn't even aware of the new of her essentially trending because of what was going on with her new theme music. I just found myself watching it. See, I think I watched NXT. I definitely watched it next day. I watched it Wednesday morning, almost Wednesday afternoon, and I hear the new music that Jordan Grace is coming out to. And I just felt like Marlon Brando in The Godfather. Look what they've done to my boy. But in this case, look what they've done to my girl. Like, what the hell? So to see these educated guesses or whatever of the reports of, oh, well, this happened because she has sirens. Braun Breaker has sirens, similar sirens. And I'm thinking to myself, no, these are not the same. No, these are not the same. You have Braun Breaker. This almost feels like the Vanilla Ice thing, and the freaking Queen David Bowie Under Pressure lawsuit. This almost kind of feels like that, where Vanilla Ice is like, no, 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 no. See, theirs goes, dun, 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 dun. Whereas mine's goes, chick chick chin 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 chin. Like, nah, man, don't even try that. Don't even. But no, seriously, Braun Breaker, his joint got like a hazardous. I don't even think of police sirens. That joint just sounds like a hazardous situation that you're about to embark on, and then there used to be dogs that you would hear in the background. I think they eliminated the dog noises. Jordan Grace sounded like a Big Papa Pump, holler if you hear me. It sounded like a ambulance siren when Jordan Grace would come out. So they changed Jordan Grace's music. Jordan Grace's music, that really, in my opinion, we could be wrong on this, but in my opinion, that song was made perfectly for Jordan Grace. It fit her so perfectly. The whole aura, just the overall presentation, everything. It fit her perfectly. And it made her stand out. It made her unique. She looked the part and everything. And now that Def Rebel has pretty much given her this generic bubblegum bullcrap, it's like, okay, now you're no longer a sore thumb that sticks out in the crowd. You're no longer on the streets of New York. Hey, who are you? You're just a regular female wrestler. You got a great look. You still got everything else, but that music, like it just. There are times when I have watched NXT, and I know this has been the case for you as well. But there are times where I have watched NXT. And by the way, I love the touch that NXT has been doing these past couple of weeks, including what they did this past week, where They really were showcasing the hell out of the women. Definitely feel that the NXT women are going to have a small role in the Evolution Premium Live event. But Def Rebel, they did Jordan Grace wrong here. They did her dirty. I would have tried to have created a song as very similar to what Jordan Grace was pushing. Like, get it as similar. If you want to do a revamped version, just so you can say, hey, we got a revamped version of this song. It's our version. You know, we added some new arrangements to it, but it's now officially a WWE version. Do I believe in the reports that's floating around about WWE trying to own more of their music and all that? This is like mainly the reason why they did what they did with Jordan Grace. I could buy into that, but the whole stuff about Braun Breaker, Sirens, Jordan Grace, I'm not buying into that whatsoever. Not buying into that whatsoever. There was a Evolution Eliminator match. Thea Hall taking on Jada Parker. Jada Parker picking up the win. Love me some Jada Parker, man. Love me some Jada Parker. Can never go wrong with Jada Parker. Y'all know that's my girl right there. That's my girl right there. She got some nice tattoos, by the way. I dig her tattoos. Another Evolution Eliminator, Lash Legend taking on Kalani Jordan. And these Evolution Eliminator matches, whole purpose of this is whoever wins becomes the number one contender, if I'm not mistaken, that will face the NXT Women's Champion at the Evolution pay-per-view. So a lot of interesting stakes that we got up for grabs and everything. Elijah Yoshiki Inamura. I know I butchered that. Apologies in advance. Josh Briggs teaming up to take on AJ Francis, Wesley Trick Williams. Team of Briggs and them picking up the W. Pretty fun six-man tag match for what it was worth. Another Evolution Eliminator, Zarya taking on Izzy Dame. Dame picking up the win with the Sky High. Also, Lola Vice taking on Jordan Grace. For me, that was definitely the match of the night. All the women's matches was actually pretty good, but the main two that I was like, definitely Jada Parker, but for sure, Lola Vice taking on Jordan Grace. Basically, the powerhouse versus the striker concept. I love that. It fit so perfectly. They worked very well with one another. Grace picking up the win makes a lot of sense. I mean, look, ever since she finally came on board to NXT and everything, they've pretty much had her in this, okay, now that we officially got you, you're ours now, and we're gonna have you job out over here. We're gonna have you job out over there. We're gonna have you. So to see her back in the winning graces here and be one step closer to a women's title shot, yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. So as far as next week goes, it's gonna be Jada Parker. Oh yeah, Lash Legend. Lash Legend had picked up a win over Kalani Jordan in an Evolution qualifier as well. So we got Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, Jordan Grace. All those girls are going to be battling it out next week. So should be a pretty fun matchup here. A lot of focus on this episode. I got to say, I found this week's NXT to be far more enjoyable than what we got from this week's Monday Night Raw. That is the God's honest truth. I thought Raw was a bit of an average episode, maybe almost for me, maybe almost borderline below average episode. But I know there was a decent amount of you guys that had jumped out there and said, "Yeah, no, this episode was I wasn't feeling this. This episode sucked." Shout out to those of you that have voted via Twitter or on YouTube, by the way. Just poking my head, seeing how you guys had voted. YouTube community, it looks like the way y'all voted was the following. 8% of you said it was a below average show. 33% of you said it was a average show. And top dog right now, 58% of you said it was a average show. Appreciate you guys that have voted via YouTube, via the post section. You always want to be poking your head in the post section because I always have different types of stuff that I post randomly, picking you guys' brain and all that. By the way, while I'm looking on Twitter, happy birthday to one of my favorite wrestlers, definitely one of my favorite female wrestlers, TNA Wrestling's Havoc. Shout out to her. Today's her birthday. If you guys really want to make her feel good, she is asking that any pictures that you have of your cats, your dogs, whether they're adults or they're younger, they're still pups and kittens, send all your pictures her way, make her feel the love. So I saw that and I said, oh well, let me hook her up. And I shared with her a picture. You can see this on Twitter. I shared with her a picture of my three dogs. All of them are Yorkie Terriers, and they're all related to one another. They all are sisters. They share the same mother. See, let me make sure I'm remembering this right. I believe two of them share the same mother but different father. And then actually, you know what? Now that I'm really thinking about it, yeah, two of them share the same mother, and then somehow the other one, it's one of those weird things. Like, so wait, is it a step kid or is it? And my wife, the way she explained it to me, she's like, no, they're all sisters. I'm like, how's that possible, right? Like, but apparently it is. But I shared a picture with Jessica Havoc of my three Yorkies enjoying a popsicle. And the story behind it, I just pulled out a popsicle from the freezer, and I was just doing my thing. I go upstairs and I got my dogs in the bed, and they won't have it any other way. By the way, all three of my dogs, they got to sleep in the bed with me and the wifey. They got to. And if you try to deny them, two of them know how to jump up on the bed with no problem. The third one's gonna keep fussing because she's tiny, she's short, she's got short legs, she's not as long as the other two, so she's gonna fuss. So I got the popsicle, and all three of them are just salivating, looking at me like I am gnawing on a T-bone steak. And I just go, well, here. And all three of them, they just they just bone rush. They just bone rush that popsicle, man. I loved it. I loved it. Anyway, let's see what you guys had to say on Twitter in regards to Raw for this week. Yeah, I am seeing 17% of you didn't enjoy it at all. 23% of you said it was an awesome show. 58% of you said it was a average show. It was an average show. So, yeah, I'm definitely in that average show, almost below average camp. I'm somewhere around there. Now, look, we got some more context as far as what's going on with Bill Goldberg. Yeah, a lot of us were under the impression that Bill Goldberg was going to be getting some type of a short run in WWE. Maybe, remember, I said it right here on the show. Yo, maybe they can ride it out to SummerSlam, or maybe as far as the grand finale, the coda of Goldberg's in-ring career. Maybe you let it all culminate at SummerSlam. Why not? Like, big stage, bring in a lot of money. I mean, look, when it's all said and done, I feel the way I feel about Bill Goldberg, basically 60-year-old Goldberg. I know my man Crowbar, love him to death, man. Crowbar, I know he had some very interesting choice words to say about a lot of the hate that was coming about for Bill Goldberg. And Crowbar brought up some very valid points. He understands where some fans, like myself and others, are coming from, but he also recognizes how at one point Goldberg was that household name and how he drew eyes. And yes, to Crowbar's point, nobody's disputing it. To Crowbar's point about, yo, the name sells. You're gonna bring back old wrestling fans, right? Fans that maybe haven't watched the current wrestling product in quite a handful of years, or maybe it's been a decade or two for them, and then they hear, wait, Bill Goldberg, he's still at this, he's still going at it. Like, whoa, say what? Yeah, yeah, it is definitely. I can't tell you how many times in the past several semesters when I've had conversations maybe with professors or fellow classmates and they aren't into wrestling, or maybe at some point they used to watch wrestling. Once they find out that they'll go, hey, is blah, blah, blah still wrestling? I remember when, or they'll go, yeah, when I was kind of paying attention, this person was wrestling. And I might say, oh, yeah, well, they're getting ready to, like, wait, what? They're still, and I kind of get them a little bit caught up to speed. Yeah, that's that casual wrestling fan. They'll come back just to see what was going on with that character. You know what I've been hating as of late, and it's so goddamn annoying. It's so goddamn annoying. I hate when I get, and this isn't directed to anybody specifically, but I've had younger classmates. It just makes me feel so old when they do this. Please don't do this to your friends and colleagues. Also, you grew up during the Attitude Era. You experienced the Attitude Era during the first time, like when it initially aired. Like, yeah. Oh man. So what was it like? What was it like? So do you like? It makes me feel like an old man at a tree, you know, and women used to wrestle in bikinis in a mud bath. Like, I don't, tell us more, Grandpa Sanders. Like, I hate that. I hate when people try to talk to me like that. It's just, don't go in that direction, man. Don't go in that direction. It's like, oh, so you remember when and it's kind of like, uh-huh, yeah, what's your point? Like, I'm sure there's a point in here somewhere, but it's like, but there's no point. It's just like, oh, like, you're so old, you actually remember. And it's like, some people have had to say, I'm not that old. I'm not an old man, but I'm not exactly a young guy. But I am a semi young man, but I'm not an old man either. So, uh, yeah, just weird, man. Just weird how some people roll. Anyway, hilarious crap, hilarious crap. Let's talk a little bit about more of Bill Goldberg. I knew I was like, I said, wait a minute, what did I bring up? So we know what's going on with Bill Goldberg now. Bill Goldberg, apparently, no, as far as maybe going to SummerSlam, not going to happen. Bill Goldberg apparently is going to have one last match, and it's going to be at Saturday night's main event, taking on Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is allegedly going to be his last match. So, it's kind of one of those deals where you go, well, wait a minute, if this is going to be Bill Goldberg's last match, well, wait a minute, what if he wins the World Heavyweight Championship there? Then what happens? I mean, that creates a very interesting scenario. Does maybe Seth Rollins ultimately cash the briefcase in on Bill Goldberg? I mean, talk about really awesome bragging rights, right? I mean, Seth Rollins just puts a big old monkey wrench, right? Just poo poo on that platter, okay? And I'm hoping that's what WWE is thinking, because I got to be honest with you. I love Gunther. I really, really do. But unless you're trying to tell the story of Gunther holding on to this championship either long enough to get to SummerSlam and, okay, hey, Sami Zayn, this is going to be his moment. He's finally going to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Or maybe you're eventually trying to do Gunther versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is a bit ways away, isn't it? I don't understand the whole purpose of having Gunther holding on to the championship. I just don't. It makes no. So I hope you're getting the impression of where I'm going here. I really am under the impression that Seth Rollins is going to be cashing in there on Bill Goldberg. I mean, you really want to get people talking. You really want to, you need to be watching Saturday night's main event because you just don't know what the hell's going to happen and everything. And NBC is available in so many households. If you are going to, like, that's the place to definitely do something like that. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be his last match, apparently. So we'll see how that goes. How about the reports that's going about there with Bully Ray? I know Bully Ray was very vocal about how WWE ended up booking Gunther versus Bill Goldberg. Let me take a quick swig of my half and half here. Oh, that is good. That really, really hits the spot. I love that. Yeah, Bill Goldberg was very, very critical on a recent episode of Busted Open. He talked about how the match was made and how it didn't make sense. He said this, and I quote, "The guy comes back and he gets in Gunther's face. The segment ends, and approximately 10 minutes later, we get a graphic, and the match has been made." So last night, Nick Aldis fill in for Adam Pearce. So he had a fill-in GM. The fill-in GM is just there because Adam Pearce needed a sick day or something. The substitute teacher allowed Goldberg to just show up and tell the World Heavyweight Champion that he was next, and all of a sudden, this match is miraculously made. Who made the match? Why did they make the match? What's the logic behind them saying yes? It's a very valid point. Very valid points that he made there. He also talked about how the storyline insults the fans. A storyline like this to me is insulting because it's just ramming something down your fan base's throat and expecting them to consume it. Just like politicians ram stuff down voters' throats and expect them to consume it. He also chimed in on how the Gunther open challenge, how that should have been issued. Did Gunther issue an open challenge? We've seen that an open challenge in the past. We've seen champions on many levels issue open challenges. So if the world champion issues an open challenge and Goldberg just happens to be in the arena visiting somebody and Goldberg turned around and said, "Hit my music," and Goldberg's the first one out, I can buy that. It's still a connecting of the dots. It's something. So Bully Ray, look, Bully Ray at times, you're like, yeah, but Bully Ray's been on point with a lot of the stuff that he's been making and everything. Look, I definitely would agree. Look, on the one hand, you got the story arc seeds that was planted long ago. And I don't know about you guys, but I know I was here very vocal on this show saying, look, whenever they're ready, like they've already planted the seeds. They've already planted the seeds. Whenever they're ready to come back to it, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that they would circle back to this while making sure Gunther had a World Heavyweight Championship. I never in my wildest dream. No, I was always under the impression they're going to do the dance again, but, probably not going to be for a title. The way that they had Goldberg just nonchalantly come out there and everything. Yeah. Did Gunther issue a open challenge? No. It would have been one thing if Gunther would have been out there and would have said, I want competition. I've already gone through many of the people in defending this championship. I'm already growing tired at the idea of going through the same people over again for this championship. No. This reign, we're going to do something entirely different. I want challengers from anywhere in the world. You, the fat man eating the hot dog with the French fries. You step in this ring, I'll beat your ass right here and now. to the janitor in the back that's cleaning the shitter right now. I'll fight you. I don't care if you're from AAA. I don't care if you're from TNA. I'll take on any and all newcomers. If you definitely would have done it in a situation like that, and then Bill Goldberg, okay, yeah, I totally am in agreement with Bully Ray. The way that was handled, yeah, I'm totally in agreement with him on that. Bill Goldberg responded to the criticism that fans have been having about him, but more specifically in regards to uh, Bully Ray there and everything. So, oh, Lord have mercy. So, Goldberg responded to the criticism. He did this with the National Football Show, by the way. Who I am to him, Gunther, is an old man. He's a 58-year-old guy who is hobbled and not like he used to be. And he believes that even at my peak, he could have taken me, which is absolutely laughable. But I mean, he's a formidable opponent. He's the world heavyweight champion. I remember meeting him years ago, right when he broke in, and the guy had a shooting star up his ass at that point, and I knew he was going to be destined for big things. And hey, it's an honor for me to get in the ring with him. It's an honor to step into a position to be vying for the World Heavyweight Championship at 58 years old. I don't know of any other ones who've tried with a match like that. Maybe try giving Hulk Hogan a call. On not going out like he did at Elimination Chamber 2022. Because of what I just told you, is why I'm getting back in the ring, because I ain't freaking going out the way I went out. Period. End of the story. So at 58 years old, if I have to go in there hobbled, if I have to go in there 30 pounds lighter, I don't give up. Because I have a point to make, and at 58 years old, can I still make that point? I don't know. I'm going to do my best. 50% of me is better than 99% of the pricks on the planet, I believe. And so, if I give that effort and have the work ethic, though I'm not who I used to be, but here I am, I mean, we don't lose that. It's a risk. It's a huge risk. Yada, yada, yada. There's a little bit more to that, but you get the gist. Bully Ray's criticism. Let's go there. I was 176 and 0. I don't have to stand in frickin' line, so Bully Ray can bite me. But everybody's got an opinion, and Bully Ray has a podcast that's about wrestling. And so you're obviously going to chime in and give your 2 cents, and I love him to death, and I respect his opinion, but his opinion is like an asshole, and everyone's got one. I'm only quoting Bully Ray here. So, I mean, that's fine. Everybody, oh, Goldberg's limping to the ring. Goldberg's small. Goldberg's old. I am freaking old. What do you want me to do? Turn the clock back? But show me another 58-year-old dude that's willing to go out and do this. I mean, there's a couple, but I'm hopefully going to surpass their performance. And at the end of the day, I got to surpass my performance in the past. You know, I think Bill Goldberg is missing the entire point, which is, hey, look, do you understand that where the majority of the fans are right now, they essentially feel that, well, with the current crop of WWE superstars that's running around, you know, they really feel that your contributions, granted, you know, good for the business, especially with what you did during the Monday Night War and everything. You know, hey, where they're at now, I don't know why this looks like a prank call, so I'm not going to answer that. It's like, you know, where things are now, you know, the current roster of superstars, they got this. That's the whole thing. It's like, And I can see Bill Goldberg countering that, coming right back and saying, well, I hear that. I respect that and everything. But, if they're approaching me and I wanted to do a retirement match and they're willing to give it to me, what am I supposed to do? Say, nah, that's not what I want to. Well, you have reached a point in your career where you can go, nah, I actually don't want to do that kind of match. I actually want to do this instead. Like for me, I was always under the impression that if Goldberg was going to do a handful of matches before he put a pretty little ribbon around it and called it a day, I was always under the impression Goldberg was going to lock up like his very last match. I was always under the impression, yo, you got to do something with Braun Breaker. Way to pay it forward, shades of, right? I mean, just everything, okay? Like that's a storyline built in there in itself. So I always thought that would be a very interesting direction to go in and everything. And let's see if this is a fake what you call here. I think this might be a spam. Have you guys been getting weird spam messages? I'll tell you the latest one that's running around right now. There's a spam message. We're done with the talk of Goldberg, by the way. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think it makes a lot of sense to have Seth Rollins cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase. Has this happened to you? I'm actually going to be putting an editorial piece and a short newsreel piece on this. But there's this new thing that's going around now where spam bots are now hitting you up and they're going, yeah, there's a problem with your GoDaddy account. Please call, da, da, da. And like the number that pops up on your phone, it actually reads GoDaddy. And so you're almost quick to go, oh, damn, like, and no bull, this happened to me this week. It happened to me 2 days ago. I was just doing some cleaning around the house, minding my own damn business. My phone rings, and I see, oh, it's GoDaddy. What the hell is this about? And I go, GoDaddy never calls. Usually if GoDaddy needs something, they've got my email, and like, what the hell is this about? I'm also going, I just paid GoDaddy earlier this month. My domain renewal, that's not coming up until the end of the month. Like, what's going on here? So the first thing I do is I check my email. I don't get nothing. And then I get this weird message that's deposited. And, I read the visual message where they're like, oh, Mr. Sanders, blah, 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 blah. And I noticed there was a couple of ums in there. I'm going, something don't seem right here. Something does not seem right. So I took that phone number that they called me from because they wanted me to call that phone number back. I took that phone number and I looked it up in a Bing Google search, and it was a robo spam joint. I was actually able to find a little form that said, yo, these people are pretending to be from GoDaddy. And I'm like, whoa, say what? And I immediately hit the block button after that. I just was like, yeah, nah, we ain't. I was like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. So be very, very careful out there. It's one of those deals where if you're not really sure, first of all, don't answer the phone and do literally what I just did. And once you're able to figure it out, like, even if you legit do business with that particular person or, that company, that organization, don't return that phone call. I would rather you check your emails and or go to the official website and then call the number that's on the official website that way to find out, hey, XYZ, do it that way. Yeah, just it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. SmackDown apparently coming up on July 4th. SmackDown is going back to 2 hours. As apparently coming up in August, the USA Network is going to be preparing for some new TV show that they hope on Friday nights will be able to capitalize from the SmackDown audience once SmackDown goes off the air. So SmackDown trying to do USA, they're trying to do some original new programming. We'll see how that works because usually the Friday night that is usually a dead spot there. So Friday night USA Network it could work out. But yeah, July 4th is apparently the rumor about SmackDown as far as that third hour goes. And for the show in question, apparently there's some show called The Rainmaker, and that's going to be premiering August 15th. And so you just see that and you're like, okay, so at some point SmackDown is supposed to like 2 hours, but there's a report running around that SmackDown is supposed to go to 2 hours beginning on July 4th. So kind of have that going in the back of you all's mind there. Shout out to TNA Wrestling. They have launched a new Roku channel. I've got them all in this house. Whenever my mother-in-law comes to visit, I personally had a room we set up for her when she visits. We got a Roku TV and all that set up, Roku device, all that set up for her. And I will sometimes find myself just going in her room and I will, turn on the Roku and find some, random channel to watch. Whether or not this TNA Roku channel is going to include the newest episodes of Impact Wrestling or TNA Impact, you're going to have to watch to find out. I haven't seen anything as far as official, hey, yes, guaranteed on Thursdays, you'll be able to watch. Like, I haven't seen that yet. I mean, this is great for TNA. It's great because that means more eyes on the product and everything. But what fans ultimately want from TNA is, we want to be able to not have to try to find you guys on some network that we honestly don't get. Not unless we're with maybe Xfinity or we're with DirecTV or something along those lines. So, but that's still really good news for them that they have launched their own Roku channel and all that. Hey, I remember a couple of weeks ago we were here on this very show, and we were talking about how Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers is in WWE Supercard. And there was like this limited time thing that was going on where you had the ability to pull his cards from off the draft board at the current tier right now, which is unhinged. And you're like, this is great, especially when you max all the stats out and you're getting ready to pro the cards. Like it's a beast of a card that can help you in clutch situations, let me tell you. So, by the way, I'd like to know how you guys are doing in WWE Supercard, especially with the new tier. Has it been challenging? Like, what's going on? How your development has been? It started off pretty slow for me getting unhinged cards, but I didn't even have to do any grinding in the wild campaign mode. I just kept doing my thing, taking advantage of any limited superstore collection events that was going on, and I got a little bit lucky and was able to pull some unhinged cards that way and everything. But I mentioned Tyrese Halliburton because apparently he's going to be making his debut very, very soon in WWE 2k25, and the graphics for this man is off the chain. Let me tell you, it is off the chain for Tyrese Halliburton. I'm looking at these graphics going, this is badass. Let me actually pull this up right now. Look at that. Look at that. Is that badass or is that badass? I mean, look at that. Seriously. That is a damn good spot on Tyrese. They did that good. I saw his entrance, and the only thing that kind of sucks about his entrance is the fact that he doesn't come out choking, right? Because you just think about what happened there, right? Like, he doesn't do. I would have loved it if they would have just done that one little thing and they would have had him choking. Oh, I'd have loved that. But they do have him kind of mocking the fans, ready to give him a bitch slap and all that fun stuff. I do like that. It's pretty good. But wait. Look, wait. There's even more. There's even more. We got the news that Shaquille O'Neal, as if that man don't need enough money. Shaquille O'Neal is going to be in WWE 2k25. We got some steel shots for him. Check this out. Check this out. Look at that. Look at that. Is that badass or is that badass? Wait a minute, wait a minute. Kind of messed up there. Let's go back to Shaq. Look at that. Look at that with Shaq. That badass or that badass? Actually, let me do this. Can I somehow go on ahead and let me remove that? There we go. Hi, guys. Look at that. I mean, that is freakishly creepy. That is freaking Shaq. All right, let me show you guys the next image that we got. I mean, this is just amazing. It's just amazing. I really, really love this. And then let's show the last image. Look at that. I mean, they did this so... I mean, that is badass. They made Shaq look better than, like, at any period in his freaking career. I actually think they made Shaq a little too pretty too, man. I think they made him look a little too sexy. They made him look a little too handsome there, I think. But that is badass. And as far as the name of this package goes, because it's supposed to be coming out on June 25th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I pull this up here. Yeah, so Shaquille O'Neal, Tyrese Halliburton, the Monster Abyss, Great Khali, Jalen Brunson. They all are part of the Dunk and Destruction DLC pack. This is everybody that you get. There's nothing else missing. Is going to be coming next week to WWE 2k25. I mean, this is a pretty diverse group. I gotta say, I've yet to download this game and check it out. Let me get out of that and come back here. There we go. I've yet to play the game. I'm looking forward. It's just a matter of me actually being able to sit down and play these things, man. That's really what it's about for me. I remember several weeks ago somebody was like, "You got to play this game," and I'm going, "Yeah, but with all respect." And there's no disrespect coming, but it's like, all respect, why would I want to play something in this particular case, what you're recommending? Why would I want to play that when I played it 20, 30 years ago? Like, I grew up on that franchise or that particular game in real time. I've played it on multiple ports. And it's like one of those deals where it's like, well, if I really want to play that game, I can easily just hop on my PC. I got a PC controller. I can just download the ROM for free and I can play that game. It's like, nah, I'm actually good. Like, if anything, I want to play something that's going to really stimulate my mind. I want to play something that really has me thinking, right? I don't care about those jam a bunch of buttons, hack and slash. I don't care about that. Give me something like give me something that, kind of has, like, what I've been getting into as of late. I like those games that have a psychological type of vibe going on to it and everything. The last great game that I played that really had me going like to that kind of level was the Batman. What was that final one called with? Was it Arkham Knight? Was that the very last one that had Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy voice their respected Batman Joker characters? and you finally got to drive the Batmobile. That was badass. I can't tell you how many months I spent just on my own playing that game. No cheat sheet. No, okay, you can find this. You can. I got 100% completion of that game on my own. On my own. Loved every minute of it. I mean, that game was so like gratifying at the end once I was able to complete everything. It was like I loved it. I loved it, man. I loved it. I haven't played anything that was on that kind of level since then. That's why I'm looking forward to playing out the new Batman VR game now that I've got the MetaQuest controllers figured out, because they gave me like some crappy ass batteries that I only turned the thing on like 4 times and the batteries died. I was like, what the hell? So I think I'm going to get into that this weekend. Did we talk about jazz? I think we mentioned jazz. I'm not sure if we mentioned it on Monday or not, but I don't think we did. Jazz. Shout out to her. Apparently, she is going to be returning. At least that's the reports that's floating around. She's going to be returning to the WWE Performance Center sometime next month as a guest coach. Apparently, she made a really good impression on everybody when she was there the last go round, that she's been invited back. So, look, it's so nice. As many longtime listeners know, I have been a fan of Jazz for many, many years. Her contributions to the business and all. And it's just nice that this woman is finally starting to get her flowers. And most importantly, she's getting those flowers now while she is still alive. That's the most important thing. So I love what's going on here. It's amazing how things kind of come back in a full circle kind of way and everything. And I got to tell you, if you ever get the opportunity to meet Jazz and you're a little bit on the fence about meet and greets because you're all about having the best experience that's possible, you won't be disappointed with Jazz. Jazz, definitely, she goes out of her way, make you feel pretty good, feel welcome, very warm, very, very warm and everything. So really, really cool. Zoe Stark. I'm not sure if you guys had heard about this, but there is a creepy AI video. It's amazing what we can do with AI. It really, really is. I have been playing more with AI to really understand it and really be able to try to understand its limitations, its strengths, its weaknesses, and everything, and understand how it plays such a pivotal role in news and information, especially since I'm majoring in media production, and in the fall I'll be majoring in journalism. And I gotta tell you, with what I've been seeing these past handful of years, and you know, just when you think the ante couldn't be upped any higher for AI, we're getting to the levels of what I'm about to talk about. So Zoe Stark had family and friends that hit her up recently and was going, "Whoa, so you're retiring from wrestling?" And Zoe's going, "No, not at all. Where the hell did you hear this from?" And I'm going, "Well, you put a video out." And so somebody hooked her up, they showed her the video, and she's like, "Holy, like, this isn't even me." So she actually had to go on her own official social media accounts acknowledging that video and letting people know, yo, this is fake. This is not me. And she talked about how it was very creepy, and whoever had did it, like, no. And I'm glad that she immediately, as soon as it came across her feed and line of communication, I'm glad that she jumped out there quickly, because this would have been a great opportunity for her to go, okay, so we got this floating around. All right, let's use this to our advantage. Let's get people talking. They want to think this way. Okay, fine. Let's let them think that way, and yeah, we'll get them. We'll throw them a nice little curveball. But Zoe instead decided, nah. No, and this really highlights the dangers of deep fakes. It really highlights the AI's growing threat, I feel, in the wrestling community. It really, really does. Like, there was Allison Kay. I love Allison Kay. I love whenever her and Marty Bell, the Hex, I love whenever they team up and they do stuff together and everything. And I'm a big, big fan of Allison Kay's photo spreads when she puts those bad boys up. I'm telling you, love me some Allison Kay. Hell of a wrestler too. Love those spreads though. But Allison Kay was a victim of this form of AI because there was a couple of weeks ago where some fan who is just infatuated with Allison Kay put out this disturbing series of images where he somehow took Allison Kay and an image of himself and was able to, I'm not going to say brilliantly because that's a poor choice of word, but he was able to put him and her together, and it really came off. If you didn't really scrutinize the photograph, you know the signs to look for to let you know, that's a fake. That's a fake joint. You're going, oh wow, Allison Kay hooked up with this dude? Like what the hell? And he's doing these things talking about how he loves her and he's waiting at home for her. He can't wait to cook for her and all this other, and she pretty much told him like, please don't do this. This is very creepy, bad behavior. Don't practice this and all of that. And there were so many people that was going on his timeline. They were going, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, seriously, get help. And he's like, I love Allison Kay. And well, first of all, when you go on this guy's timeline, you see that there's a couple of other women that he really, really loves. And so it's like, okay, so he ain't just sticking to one woman. He's got multiple women that he says he loves and can't wait to spend the rest of his life with them and all that. But AI continues to be a growing threat. It's definitely starting to creep on in there in the wrestling industry. I've been on social media a couple of times, and I in this topic, I really wish that my brothers and sisters in the podcasting world, definitely in the wrestling community world, would really jump out there and highlight this more because it's definitely a disturbing trend that is starting to pick up some steam and we need to do a better job in using our respective platforms and voices to call this type of bad behavior out and encourage people to not practice in this type of bad behavior. Many times I've been on social media trying to look up a particular story about maybe a wrestler or whatever, and I come across AI deep fakes, whether it's images of hell. I came across an image when I was looking for some Liv Morgan updates on her health and all that. I came across a image where Liv Morgan was naked on her stomach and was getting it from the back. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And again, unless you know the signs to look for to let you know, oh yeah, this is a deep fake. This is an AI deep fake right here. Like you're gonna go, oh wow, Liv Morgan actually. Oh wow, there's some leaks that's actually out of Liv Morgan. And this is the trend. I mean, even the way in which people consume their pornography, to know that there are websites that's dedicated to, hey, live out your fantasy, build your perfect partner to have sex with virtually. Like to know that we're at that level. It's crazy. I did a workshop a couple of months back where for a whole hour we talked about AI and where it's heading and the good that it can provide, but also the bad. And I cannot stress it enough. In a day and age where it comes to media consumption, especially by us consumers, right? we got to tread very lightly. We got to be very, very careful. It's so funny because many times my friends, my family, they have become victim to something that they see on social media, and they go, "Oh, hey, da 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 da," da," and I go, "Wait, wait, 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 say what?" Yeah, da 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 da, and I go, I call bullshit. Where did you see this? And I'll either get, oh, I saw it on Facebook. And I go, well, that's part of your problem right there because there's a lot of you guys that still have your Facebooks or have continued to push Facebook all these years later. You see what I'm talking about. Even on Twitter and other platforms, you'll have people that will create these fake wrestling stories. And you're like, whoa. And it turns out it's a fake. And then you'll probably report them for spam or you'll block them. That's how it usually goes. But we got to be careful with what we're reading online, hearing too, because now, oh my God, we're just getting started, especially with AI and its impact on the wrestling community. Let me tell you something. This is a bold prediction that I'm making here. It's only going to get worse. From what I've been seeing, everything that I've been learning about AI these past couple of years, as far as the wrestling community goes and all that, it is only going to get worse. We can now take your voice, my voice, your best friend, your mama, your daddy. We can now take just a voice snippet, 30 seconds, whatever, and the shit that we can do with AI. Let me tell you something. Hulk Hogan, Triple H, any wrestler that maybe fans are like, I've never been a fan of this guy. I hate this guy. Like, we're just getting started. Not me part of that. I'm saying society. Those that's using AI for bad. They just getting started. It's going to get much worse. And as a result of that, that's why it's so imperative that the federal government, not to get too into the weeds, because I want to link it all back to wrestling and everything, but definitely from a wrestling, entertainment, sports event standpoint and all that, that's why it's so imperative that the government really gets involved and try to police this even better, because if they don't get ahead of this now, there's going to be some serious implications. There's going to be some serious hurting. And I don't want for somebody to be a victim. You feel where I'm coming from? Like, we shouldn't have to have a tragedy go down before the government and all that goes, okay, we need to do something about this. What? No. Get ahead of it while you still can. Get ahead of it while you still can. Hey, one of my favorite TNA wrestlers from back in the day, Monty Brown. He is going to be making a rare public appearance. He's going to be at StarCast coming up very, very soon. And we know AEW is pretty much behind StarCast and everything. Fans will be able to get his autograph, do photo ops, and if you want to get pounced by Monty Brown, that can be arranged. Look, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to the wifey. I would go to StarCast for Monty Brown. That's how much respect, that's how much admiration, that's how much I love Monty Brown. Monty Brown was one of my favorite TNA wrestlers from back in the day. This guy could do no wrong. Man. I mean, golden tongue, great look, awesome charisma, hell of a move set. Man, that dude, everything that dude was touching back in the day was freaking fire. I can remember me and my friends looking at him going, yo, this dude. And, it's so funny because there was never talk about, at least not amongst me and my friends, there was never talk about Monty Brown. Oh, just can you picture him in WWE? Like, there was never that type of talk. Never. I don't think that type of talk had came about until like maybe years, couple of years later, handful of years later, after he pretty much was done and everything, and it was kind of one of those, what wrestler, like what could have been. It's like, nah, who you thinking? What could have been with Monty Brown? Like, what could have happened with that guy? And the story for you younger listeners out there, the way the story goes with Monty Brown, and everything. I believe something was going on with a family member. I think there was some type of a tragedy that happened, and there were like kids that was involved. You got to forgive me because sadly, the older I get, and something that happened like a long time ago, the memory is a little bit fuzzy and everything. But from what I can remember, there was someone in his family. There's like some type of tragedy, and there was kids involved, and Monty Brown took it upon himself to take care of those kids. So pretty much his, dreams, aspirations, and all that, he pretty much put all that on hold so he could take care of those kids and everything. Marcus Corvon, I'm remembering his very brief run in the WWE. That was a very, very brief run, mid 2000s. It's like 1 year. Yeah, he was incorporated with the ECW brand, the WWE CW brand, from what I remember and everything. So he's pretty much been radio silent since. It's always been a case of, what the hell is going on with that dude? Like, what's he up to? Like, what's going on with this dude? So I don't know. I just might, if I can still get some tickets, I don't know. I might try to talk to the wifey and be like, yo, what do you think? First of all, I got to find out where Starcast is being held. Because if it's drivable, I definitely, I'll let you know as it gets a little closer. Um, SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown because we got that's coming on later tonight in a couple of hours, actually. And the way that is looking for this week, see how this card is shaping up here. We got John Cena taking on Ron Truth. Highly anticipated rematch. We got that going on tonight. Let's not also forget we got Tiffany Stratton. She's being advertised for tonight's SmackDown. What does that mean for Money in the Bank winner Naomi? We got LA Knight. He's expected to be in the house as well. We got the King of the Ring semifinals, Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. We got a Queen of the Ring semifinals, Asuka taking on Alexa Bliss. So looking pretty good. It's going to be held in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at the Van Andel Arena. So should be a pretty good show when it's all said and done. I'm actually looking forward to it. No boy, I'm actually looking forward to it. And then this Sunday, because the Indiana Pacers, they have forced a Game 7 for the NBA Finals. We got Game 7 that's going to be happening this Sunday on ABC. I think Indiana Pacers are going to get the job done. It's interesting because I was telling a friend this the other day. I said, look, I'm happy for both teams that they were able to get to the dance. From everything that I saw of them off and on during the regular season and definitely the postseason, two really good, strong teams. It's unfortunate that as far as the ratings go for this respected series, not doing good. This respected series is down 20%. And if this trajectory continues, it's going to be the lowest viewed NBA finals since like 1988. So, you hear that and you go, well, what's the issue here? It's interesting, isn't it? Because when you hear that, you go, well, what happened? Why is it's not Golden State Warriors. It's not the Boston Celtics. It's not, it's one of those things where you go, what the hell is going on? Let me pause for a quick second here. I got Rick here, longtime listener, who's leaving a comment asking me if I'm going to get the year 3 pass for Street Fighter 6 or Mortal Kombat Legacy. He's seen on PS5 that all hidden characters for the game will unlock, and there'll be options and everything. So, Rick, you might have missed it earlier. Appreciate you as always. Rick and everybody else. So, not to make myself sound like an old man, but I'm 44 going on 45. So, I say that to say this. I don't have time to sit down and play a hack and slash mash button game. That like does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. I remember these games when they first came out, and I mean, the fun stories that I can tell about, I used to skip school, I go to my local arcade, I'd play this, and then, man, once it became available for the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, like, I got that on, as soon as it became available, like, I'm not interested in fighting games anymore, Rick. I hate to be a Debbie Downer. Anybody that's checked out the show for a long period of time knows when it comes to fighting games, like I don't have that. I am more into a psychological game. We were just talking, Rick, about one of the last great psychological games I had played, which was that really got me like, yo, I'm invested in this. And that was the Arkham Knight's Batman game. Great way to put a proper book in on the whole Asylum series and everything. I love psychological stuff like that. Um, yeah, like I'm not getting a brain fart. It's just maybe I will sit down and play a tablet game. And anybody that's been listening long enough, say it with me. Like, what's one of my favorite tablet games to play? WWE Supercard. With everything that I'm doing as of late, like, I really don't have the time to be playing games. And when I do, I like to be able to sit down, do something real quick, and a tablet game like what I just mentioned. If I'm not playing WWE Supercard, I'm playing some form of Tetris or Bejeweled or some weird crap like that. So, Rick, I appreciate you as always, but please, my man, when it comes to the fighting games, I am not the one. If you want to pick my brain on, you know, anything psychological, thriller type of games, like you can definitely catch my attention that way. It's so funny because me and my wife were literally talking earlier today, and she knows I'm trying to sell a whole bunch of stuff online so I can have some much needed padded cushion money for classes this fall semester once I transfer and everything. And she literally said to me, "Well, why don't you sell your your Xbox, what is it, the S, the X, whatever the hell they're on now?" She's like, "Why don't you sell that?" And I told her, I said, "No, no, no." I was like, "There's a couple of games that's on my radar that I need to play. And they're all psychological, psychological games, with the exception of the RoboCop game. The RoboCop game, it's actually pretty damn good. I gotta say, it's actually pretty damn good." Uh, I said, "No, no, no. I'm still playing some games on it, and it's serving its purpose. I'm doing some stuff on it randomly." And she's like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, why don't you sell the what's that other Xbox before you got the one that you got now, the newest one? What about the previous one?" I was like, I'm still doing some stuff on there occasionally." Okay. "Well, what about the Xbox 360? Why don't you sell the Xbox 360? Because it's no longer supported and it's really only good for parts. Nobody's really going to buy that." She's like, "Ah, okay." I'm like, "Yeah." So, I'm aware of some of the stuff that's going on with video games. I mean, Rick, we literally just talked about Shaquille O'Neal and Tyrese Halliburton that's getting ready to be part of that Duncan Destruction Pack in WWE. So please, folks, going forward, I love you guys. Sure, like I'll talk video games, but if you bring up fighting games is not for me. If you want to get my thoughts on some particular game franchise, Ask me about anything that's kind of psychological. Hell, you can even hit me up and talk RPG. Like, Lee, I heard some rumors about the latest Elder Scrolls. Like, that actually got me excited, by the way. The fact that Bethesda, their company is not that far, because we're out here in the DMV and everything, not that far. When I worked in market research, I stayed organizing focus group studies for Bethesda. Some of them I would actually be a moderator for, but most times I handled everything as far as the recruitment quotas needed for those focus groups. And I just loved how Bethesda quietly just said, we're going to put this game out and watch what happens. I mean, they literally pulled a Usher. Watch this. And they had social media in a frenzy. I remember when I was in class, the day that it dropped, me and a handful of other classmates, it all started with somebody going, holy shit. I'm like, what's up? Yo, they just re-released Elder Scrolls. Which one? Like, look. Like, and we're looking. Like, whoa. And you get all the downloadable content? Yeah. Whoa. We were talking about that for like about 15 minutes. It was nice. It was nice. Anyway, we were talking about OKC. We're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers. So what's going on? Why is it that the viewership is down 20% and counting for this series? On the one hand, you know, we got a situation where everybody wants to see somebody new playing. We're tired of the same old people that's always in the finals. We don't want to see no Lakers. We don't want to see no Boston Celtics. We don't want to see no Golden State Warriors. Like, these guys always win. How about we see somebody else new for a change? Well, you essentially got what you wanted. But I think a large part of it is, well, I don't know nothing about these teams. I didn't watch any of their games during the regular season. I didn't watch any of their games during the postseason. So why should I care about the NBA Finals? You know, it's one thing when you go, well, it's not my team. It's another to go, like I just said, well, I don't care about them at all. So yeah, peace. And it's that latter part. And it's also the fact that the sports media outlets aren't really giving enough substance, enough gravity to this current NBA Finals. And look, it's been a great series. Anybody that has watched the series, there's been some pretty close games, pretty much all of them. And the fact that we have gotten now to game 7, that's a testament there in itself and everything. So kind of interesting what's going on there. Shout out to Brad Pitt in the new upcoming movie later this month, F1. A lot of great buzz that's going on for that movie. Look, I hope that movie does extremely well, because if that movie does extremely well, you know what that means, right? If you are a Tom Cruise fan, that means that as far as Days of Thunder 2, that should definitely be a great success, especially if you're able to tap into the same team behind F1 to pretty much come and do Days of Thunder 2. I love Days of Thunder 2. I loved it. I still watch it to this day from time to time. I bust it out from time to time and I'll watch it and everything. So look, they did a budget of $200 million, F1. And the way it's being projected right now, it's being said that the film looks like it's going to be on track to possibly do about maybe 75 to 90 million. And that's just within the United States, Canada, as far as what could potentially be coming in from outside the country. Like, but when you hear that, just okay, in our respective region, about 75, 90 million. Oh, okay, not too shabby. That's not bad. That's not terrible at all. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the true testament is look, if you're able to come close to meeting your budget, that's great. You're definitely off. To anything like less than that, not good. Not good at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is going to be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Oscar. This is basically an award that's going to be presented to him to recognize his contributions to the movie industry as far as his production companies and just and I think that's a great honor. I think they should do that. I remember being right here on this show and even doing some of the wrestling with the topic episodes with Tams, and we would bring up Tom Cruise. I remember the pandemic particularly. Tom Cruise and his production company was one of the first, if not the first, production companies that was out there trying to lead the way and showing, yo, this is how we can still make movies safely, and this is how we get the industry back on track following this blueprint, and we can let this trickle on down to the television industry. That's how we. So yeah, yeah. And it's also going to recognize some of his stunt work. He's done some insane stunt work over the years, but mainly for what he's done with the production company. So yeah. Rick saying he might get the new Final Fantasy Tactics. What's my thoughts on that, Rick? Buddy, love you, pal, but I haven't played a Final Fantasy game in years. Rick, you should know by now as a longtime listener. It's obvious you're not quite, and that's cool. I love you, man. But remember, like Final Fantasy, that's essentially a hack and slash game. Hack and slash. Is it RPG? Kinda, but it's more so like a hack and slash kind of game. The last Final Fantasy game that I played was Jesus Christ. Oh my God. See, I think the way we need to phrase that, what was the last Final Fantasy game that I played and I actually completed 100%? That would be Final Fantasy 8. I tried playing the newer ones, wasn't quite the same. And I can have somebody tell me till they're blue in the face, well, you got to play this. You got it like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, literally, when it comes to video games, people, I'm not the one to be. The only reason why I know what I know about games like WWE 2K is because I spent so many years playing it. And then I'm kind of still technically in that wheelhouse because I check out games like WWE Supercard. Maybe once in a blue moon, I'll poke my head and see what's going on with the WWE Mayhem game. But like, understand something, folks. I really don't have the time to be playing video games. Rick, everybody else, I really don't have the time to be playing video games. I'm not bitching. I'm not moaning. But let me give you an idea of like what my typical schedule is. I work about 12 to 14 hours, usually 5 to 6 days a week. That's just my one job. Then on top of that, I'm usually doing some voiceover edits, some video editing for clients, shit like that. Then I got to somehow factor in getting in my study time for the current classes that I'm taking at community college. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be transferring to a 4-year college in the fall, and that's about 17 credit hours. Oh, but then on top of that, I still got to do what I got to do for the 2 podcast shows, sometimes 3 podcast shows that I put out each and every single week. By the way, I got 3 dogs that I got to take care of. By the way, I somehow got to make sure I get in quality time with the wife and the family. Priorities, guys. Priorities. So like I wish I could go back to when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and just, I'm gonna play this video game. Yo, I can't wait. I used to do that all the time. I would be like, as soon as I would get paid, I'd put down 100. Well, at that point, $100 used to get you about 3, 4 games. But I used to put whatever money down, do my thing, But like, look, as much as I like the video games, that shit ain't paying my bills. I got a mortgage. I got 2 cars that I got. I'm not bitching. I'm not moaning. This is just real talk. And I ain't telling people how they need to spend their money and all that. Look, if there's something on the radar as far as the video games go, something on the radar that like kind of caught my eye, and I think that you guys should definitely, hey, look, check this out. Yo, this has been picking up a lot of buzz. This has been, you definitely need to check this out. I will definitely talk about it here on the show. Like if it's got a majority of social media talking about it, I'll definitely bring it up here on the show. But like as far as me physically sitting down and actually playing a motherfucking game, very rare. And when I do, I'm not interested in no button hack and slash. I want to play something that I can literally sit down and my mind is going to be greatly stimulated. Psychological shit like that. That's what I'm into. I don't care about no hack and slash. I don't care about no shoot this, get from point A, get to point B. That Call of Duty, like visually, that stuff is great. I don't mean to get off on a rant. Hopefully it's not a rant, but like, yeah, y'all keep it cool when it comes to certain video game talk. Cause like I'm not the one. I'm not. I will tell anybody any day of the week. Yeah, I ain't no expert on that one. I can't help you out on that one. So Tom Cruise is going to be getting that Life Achievement Award. Robert Downey Jr. was recently interviewed. It was a quick drive-by, and he was asked, yo, what's going on with Tropic Thunder 2? Are you possibly going to? And Robert Downey Jr. was like, yo, pretty much, yo, I'm down. So, what's up, Ben Stiller? What's up? Like everybody else, like, what's up? I don't know. A Tropical Thunder 2 today. Let's see how the new Naked Gun movie does with Liam Neeson. Let's see how that does. If that, and I expect that to do gangbusters good. If that does do good, I think there might be hope. I really, really do. I think there might be hope. Shout out to REO Speedwagon's singer. Not the singer that has been with them all these years. There was a previous singer, right? Terry Luttrell. He was involved, I think that's Luttrell. He was involved in a serious car crash. So, not looking good. That recovery is going to be a very, very long process for him. So shout out to him. Also, rest in peace to Wayne Lewis, from one of my favorite R&B groups from back in the day, Atlantic Starr. Oh my God, great hits such as Send For Me, Circles, Secret Lovers, Am I Dreaming? Oh my God, man. I mean, man, Atlantic Starr. And them guys provided the soundtrack for my life back in the day, man. I love me some Atlantic Starr. One of the co-founders and main singers there, Wayne Lewis, passed away at the age of 67. So rest in power to him. Other music news, Metallica. For you Metallica fans out there. No, I'm not going to be checking this out because that's way too much money. And it's one of those, I like that album, but I don't like it enough that I'm willing to spend this amount of money on it. It's already out now. There is a Metallica Load box set. And this thing is like Good God Almighty, this is going to put you back like about almost $300. Okay. And as far as what all you get in this bad boy, here's what you get. I'll give it to you right now. I give it to you right now. From what I am able to see, and actually I need a proper synopsis for this bad boy. So you get not one, not two, not three, not even four, not even five, not even six, not even nine, not even 10, not even 12, not even 13. I know you guys are like, Lee, you starting to irritate me, dog. You need to hurry up and let us know what the official number is, dog. Like, that's how long this is, yo. You get a grand total of 25 disc. So some B-sides, some remixes, original demos, and they put a lot of thought into the booklet for this. There's a couple of booklets that's in there. Like, I don't know. I ain't gonna tell nobody what to do with their money. I ain't spending $300. No, no, I'm just not. Can you just imagine that, having that conversation, with your friends, significant other? Hey, I got this. How much was it? $300. And you're just like, since you're throwing away money, can you loan me 50? It's one of those type of deals. I'm trying to see the reviews now that about a week has passed. I can't wait to see what's going on with some of the reviews for that. Like some pretty cool, reputable people that I trust. Like I know they'll give it to me right between the eyes. But like so far, because I got some friends that they make it be their business to check out stuff like this. For some of the people that I had checked out and asked, they were like, "You're not missing anything. Like, really, you'll be okay." And then they were like, "If you're that pressed, just wait a little bit. You'll be able to find it online if you want to check it all out." Wink, wink, hint, hint. And it's like, okay, cool. Pretty much, save your money. That was the message that I was getting. It was like, save your money. So yeah. Other than that, let's go ahead. Let's call it. We've been at it now for about. I got the mixer timer one here. Looks like we've been at it for about an hour 54, an hour 55. So as far as quick programming notes go, all that other stuff. First off, appreciate you guys that hung out with me live during this show. Good vibes as always. This go round. You love what we did here. Do your man a solid. Show the ultimate love and support. Make sure you follow the show all throughout social media. Give the episode here a like, especially show it love on YouTube. Hit that YouTube channel up. Show it some love. More eyeballs we get on the content, the better and everything. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. You'll be able to find me stretched across all throughout social media. And Monday's RCWR Show stacking up to be a good one. We're going to be looking at the semifinals for the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Also going to be previewing Saturday night's main event. Laying out what we can expect to go down at WWE Night of Champions. It's going to be a pretty solid Monday night edition. Really loving it. Appreciate those that support the show as always. Loads more to get into. I will be doing a weekend edition of Wrestling with the Topics with Tams. I'll be talking more about my weekend covering the Capitol Emmys. And I definitely want to get into the news about the Lakers being sold there. I would imagine Tammy is probably going to want to share some thoughts on that as well, because she's a Lakers fan, not a hardcore Lakers fan, but enough of a casual Lakers fan to definitely want to chime in on that piece of news. So we'll get into that. As some other fun little stories, I was talking about AI earlier. There's an AI story. Tams don't even know anything about this AI story, so she's going to be experiencing it live in real time. when we do that edition of Wrestling with the Topics. I'm thinking for sure we'll be doing that for you guys sometime Sunday afternoon. So make sure you check that out. And until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. Take care, y'all. Enjoy the weekend. Stay hydrated.